Rudolf Demps. I'm American. Ja, ist sicher. So my home state is very complicated, right? Because I've lived in a lot of different places. I consider Texas my home because that's where I spent most of my time. But Georgia is where my roots are. So that's where my mother is born, father's born. That's where my grandparents and all of my ancestry is from Georgia. So that's my home state. But Texas, you know, once again, for me is home. And as I mentioned earlier, I was born in Miami. So Florida plays another role in my life. And at this point in my life, the only place that I would live in America is California. So, or Hawaii. But I haven't visited Hawaii. But I know I love California. So for me, like this idea fell into my lap. It wasn't something that I thought of or dreamed about. I just, when I was younger, you know, like as a kid, you know, people were like, oh, I want to be a police officer. I want to be a fireman. Like one day I probably mentioned that I'd like to run a restaurant at some point when I was younger. But as I got older, I realized that it's a very complicated business. I've seen so many people run these businesses. I've seen them come and go. So it was never like on the top of my list. But once I came to Yekaterinburg, I started a production company for events because that's my background, is mostly producing events and working with talent, different types of talent, actors, models, singers. After I did a show here, I did a launch party, which is like a opening party for my production company in Yekaterinburg, and it was at Sinara Center. After I had this event, you know, a lot of people were talking about it, and a young lady from the previous bar in my location contacted me about cooperation, doing some sort of collaboration. So I came and I spoke to her for a while, and then during the conversation, she mentioned that the bar was up for sale. And I was like, oh, she's like, you can buy it if you want. And I was just like, well, that's a good first meeting, you know. I mean, I wouldn't consider that a collaboration, but there's something I'll consider. So I spoke with some people, investors, and yeah, we kind of decided to roll with it and make it happen because the prize became a lot better price. So so yeah, and then from that point, we started piecing everything else together. My bar is different because it's an authentic American inspired restaurant and bar. Okay, and a lot of people ask, like, there's some people that have been to America, and maybe 2 or 3 people that I've spoken to that have been like, oh, well, I've seen that it's a New York style bar, and I don't feel like it's a New York style bar. Or, you know, they've been to other places like you, oh, well, I don't see any ribs, or, you know. So, like, it's just one of those things to where I think people have misunderstood the concept. The concept is that it's a bar and a restaurant inspired by an American. So through my eyes, like everything through my life, like that I've experienced, has been put into this place. And you know, maybe there's another American place in Yekaterinburg, but the chances of an American running that place are very slim. Like other cultures of, you know, Thai restaurants or Chinese restaurants, the chances that there's a Chinese man in that restaurant are very slim. So that's what makes it authentic, is that I'm there all the time, and I dedicate my life to this bar. So the atmosphere, once again, is inspired by me as an American, and this is what you get, this is what you feel when you're there, from the shows to the choice of songs that you're listening to while you're having your food, and to a lot of the dishes come from my childhood, and some recipes come from my grandmother and my family. At the moment, we only have 2 performances scheduled every week, which is Friday and Saturday. We've done a few on other days, Sundays, and we have a lot of private events and some special events that we host throughout the week with other people. But at the moment, it's only 2 days that are guaranteed. You know that Friday, Saturday, there's something happening. So outside of Friday and Saturday, if you want to come Monday through Thursday, soon we'll be hosting some other things. We're starting to plan some for this month and next month, and we'll have a lot of things happening on the veranda as well for the summer. It's a good idea to book in advance for Friday and Saturday because this is our most popular time. Throughout the week, you can usually find a table most times of the day. But Friday, Saturday, around 9 o'clock, if you want a table, I would suggest booking in advance. 7 to 9 is you can come in probably and find a table, but your reservation may end at 9 o'clock. I mean, for me, like like a lot of people ask how I ended up in Russia. In short, the answer is a woman. A Russian woman led me to Russia. But the full story is that I left America with a dream of living in another country, like making a life in another country in 2015. And I sold everything I had, sold everything I owned, and quit my job and packed a bag and started backpacking with a small bag. And many doors opened for me over the years of traveling throughout the world and meeting different people. So this is where my story has led me now. And that's a big reason why I'm in this country. And I think it's it's a shocking story because not a lot of people are willing to let go of their previous life and just up and leave and go out into the unknown, you know, and search for something. So that's what I did, and I consider that one of the, you know, deepest, proudest things in my life. Yeah.